Chickadee chick. Okay, I just lean in a little when I talk, and then I'll lean a little bit out, and then I'll lean a little in when I talk. But then I'll talk back here and I'll forget, and then we'll get back in here.
And you'll inevitably laugh and peek, and everybody's
Yep.
like
Now you've got two of me.
This is getting out of hand.
Raph's worst nightmare.
Mine quit.
This actually kind of reminds me of when we were doing the Machine podcast, because I had like a vague feeling at some point when we were doing that. I was like, I don't know this podcast anymore. It's like, yeah, I need to do your levels because you were set at some point and then you disappeared.
Okay, yeah, this is how I talk during the podcast. I'm going to be drinking Dalmore 12 year, and it's probably going to have a bit of a spicy note, maybe some brown sugar, but you know, I'm kind of just really winging it right now. Sweet.
That was eloquent. I'm going to have to work hard to keep up with your guys' pod game. Too bad. You beeped.
Feels like as good a spot as any to say, welcome to the Forest Creek podcast. This is the video edition. This is what we look like when we're talking, which is something that nobody asked for, but we're doing it anyway. We've been wanting to do video podcasts for a long time. This is actually the same place that we first attempted to do a video podcast. Can you remember what show that was? Was it the Soul?
That was your Ozymandias episode.
That was
and we filmed it from the opposite direction, and it was bad.
It was bad, and then we underestimated. Well, what's the word?
We screwed up the whole thing entirely.
We overestimated how much memory was on the camera, or how much power it had, or one of those things, and then we ended up only like videoing 10 minutes of it and thinking, oh my god, everything we're doing is live.
Yeah.
Which even this is not really live. I feel so compelled to now look at the camera the whole time we're doing this. So
And both of us are just staring at you.
a quick note. We are at one of my favorite at least venues to record this podcast, the home of our biggest fan.
Lord Regan.
Their dad. Lord Regan, as we will refer to him. Yeah. Who so graciously welcomed us here on many occasions, and then also is now lending us a sampling of some scotches, also brought in by these two gentlemen. Today, we're doing the Scotchcast. Yeah, that's right. We've been playing around with this idea for a series on nice things, luxury items, playing around with them. Still working out the concept, but while we're here, let's do a quick demo. And the idea is, one of the nice things that we're going to be talking about today is scotch. Alcohol. We have a lineup of scotches that we're going to be going down the line with, talking about what goes into each one of them. But before we get started, your introduction to the world of scotch, if there is such a thing. What is it like? What's the path of like, what's the first alcohol you have? What's the first fancy alcohol you have? What's the road that leads you here today? Matt, do you want to go first?
Sorry, like in general, like what's my my backstory to drinking?
Yeah, what was the first Scotch-like thing?
Yeah.
Like a whiskey.
The first time you appreciated what you were drinking.
Oh, that's a different question.
Yeah. We'll just do that. That's the.
When I get there, I'll tell you. I do like to drink, though. As far as appreciation, I've never been one of the chocolatey notes. No.
I remember the first time I noticed something like this. I was young, and when you're young and you get like a sip of beer or something, especially beer, just tasted like, why did somebody put soap in water? Is that why it's bubbly? But then I get a sip, and this is interesting because too is like growing up in the church community I was in, you get port wine is like used all the time for the communion, and you don't click that in your head that, oh yeah, that's wine, that's that sweet. But I remember my grandfather had a bottle of cherry vodka, and I only got a nip of that the first time, and I was like, oh, this stuff can be delicious. And then later on, at some point, I was blessed to try a little bit of Johnny Walker Blue Label. And that... You're welcome. Well, that wasn't you the first time. You were one of the later times, which I'm still grateful for. But you try scotches, you try something that tastes something like smooth or something, and you can appreciate a little bit of difference, but then you come across something like Blue Label and it's a shelf above, and it just kind of elevates the game, and it shows you what scotch can be. It's actually something that I heard, what's his name? James Hoffman.
Oh, James Hoffman.
James Hoffman, the coffee guy. I heard him on the Diary of a CEO podcast. And one of the things he said is like, this coffee is a 2 because I know what coffee could be.
Yeah.
right? So now that I know what Scotch could be, it gave me like kind of an appreciation. It's like you drive around in a car your whole life, you can appreciate the car that you're in, and of course, it's your car. But say, for instance, one day you get a chance to sit inside of a Lamborghini. You're like, oh, this is what a car could be, right? It's not that going back to your car is a bad thing. It's that you go back to your car and you go, this is an entirely different machine. It's for a different purpose. I think the same thing is kind of true of a lot of scotches. There's some drinks that you bring out on days like of celebration, special occasions, you know, something amazing in your life just happened. Let's break out that aged bottle that we've kept in the shelf for years and years, you know. And that's kind of what makes them so special when they get aged. But before I continue to ramble on, Jarrod, do you remember like the first time you were like, oh, with a drink?
The first thing that, with a drink specifically, I'm not certain. It was probably only in the last couple of years that, especially like with Scotch, it'd be the last year or two where I would have tasted one that I was like, oh wow, that was actually good. You know, at one time was with Johnny Walker Black, because I'd had it before and it was just like, yeah, this is Scotch. It tastes like Scotch.
That's Scotch.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. It tastes like every other Scotch I've had.
Yeah.
And I don't know. But then I recently tasted it a while back. I think it was just at my place with you. And I tasted it. I was like, oh, there's like whatever that note is, or whatever this note is. And it was actually very delicious. I guess because I'd had some worse Scotches than the Black.
I mean, you probably have. And then like, if you're around Black, you kind of take it for granted. There's a lot worse stuff out there, and there's a reason why Black is so popular. Johnny Walker Black in specific. Mm-hmm. Later, I remember being a kid and being confused about like Jack Daniel's Black Label and thinking that was at all a similar thing, which it is not. Which is funny because like Jack Daniel's also has a red label. Mm-hmm. Johnny Walker has a red label, and these are completely different things.
Oh, you know what? Recently, I had the Glenfiddich 12 for the first time, and that was where I was like, this is a good, solid Scotch.
There's the Glenfiddich and the Glenlivet.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'm saying these names right. I hope I am.
You are.
I'd like to pretend I'm very pretentious, but I don't know everything. But those aren't the Scotches that we have today. But before we do get to our lineup, actually, one thing that came to mind is I remember when you were getting into cigars, and you were, at the time, you were telling me about videos that you were watching about cigars, and talking about the way that you come to develop a palate for these things. Mm-hmm. And you were telling me about how like you just try to focus on what's a note that you can get, and that kind of
because it's like generally when you watch videos of people tasting things and they're like professionals and they do this all the time and they make these reviews for their living, they're gonna be like, oh, that's white pepper followed by some burnt cherry notes or something like that. And you're like, that's insane. There's no way you can taste that.
When's the last time you had a burnt cherry?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm making it up on the fly.
Yeah. And why is there pepper in my cigarillo?
Like, I remember watching one cigar review and the guy takes one puff and goes, oh, that's a pepper bomb. And then I had the cigar and I was like, tastes like tobacco.
What is this man talking about?
But
it's like one of my favorite things to say about tobacco in general. But like, oh, I love that hickory.
Yeah.
This hickory for cigars, I want to say, is like peat for whiskey and scotch. It's like it's in everything.
Bro.
You could just, if you say peat, you'll probably be right.
Yo, Pete.
But then we had that super peaty scotch at High's.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called. I took a picture of it and I tried to look for it, but I ended up getting, I think, that Dalmore 12 instead because it wasn't there.
I feel like High's was another kind of step along this journey because like restaurant-wise, we talked about this before, restaurant-wise, you go to the Keg and you're like, that's your top bar for a long time. And you're like, oh, this is as good as it gets. But then you go to somewhere like High's and they're like, oh, no, this is what a restaurant could be.
So good.
Right? Matt, I feel like I remember the first time. Was it the time I tried that Blue Label with you? Was that the first time that you'd gotten your hands on something like that?
Yeah, and that was one thing I was going to bring up to amend my kind of the difference. And mine wasn't an, oh, this is what Scotch could be. It was that I was like, yeah, this is alcohol, my palate. And I'm like, I definitely not the kind of person who should be getting given $300 bottle of scotch. I'm like, this is gonna be wasted on me. I'm gonna get like, I'm gonna get some nice times out of the bottle, but
That was my favorite thing I learned from cigars was, and I can apply it to everything, like Blue Label is like, it's meant for you to enjoy it. So however you enjoy it, whenever you're started, whenever you're done, that's how it is.
But it's like, am I ever gonna buy myself a $300 bottle? No, right?
But you got it.
But I scrapped a car a year ago, right? And I bought myself a $150 bottle. That was nice. The Marquis collection. Ooh. I was gonna bring that here if we had done the pod earlier, but I drank it. Yeah.
This is not our first attempt at putting together a podcast. This is the thing that we've come to learn in our journey of something around 50 podcasts now, is that these things are hard. These are hard to set up. It's not easy to do, but we managed to pull it together. We're here with a line of great scotches, mostly, and we're going to tell you about them. What do we have on the shelf? Do you want to bring out just the first one, and we'll just
let's go. Let's start number one on the line.
Let's keep the lineup a mystery.
Yeah, we're starting with
the Dalmore 12, I believe. One of the scotches.
Spoilers.
Well, we're bringing it on now.
Get it on the can.
All right.
The Dalmore 12.
So, Jarrod, where did you get this bottle?
BC Liquor Store.
What are you familiar with it so far? Like you've clearly worked your way into it.
Yeah, it's good. It's kind of spicy cinnamony, I think. If I remember right, there's like fruity stuff.
I'm gonna look up a quick.
It's a nice one. It's got a like varying range of flavors. I'm also not very specific or along in my palate journey. It's like I can kind of say, oh yeah, there's some sweetness, but then I have to differentiate: is that like a caramel chocolatey sweetness or a fruity apple strawberry sweetness? I don't really know.
It's a Highland single malt Scotch whiskey at 40% alcohol, aged 12 years, of course.
It all makes sense.
I'm reading this off of jeffwhiskey.com.
Jeff Whiskey.
What am I doing? I'm going to actually ask
what a great
my
last
real
name.
Co-host.
Your real co-host?
Hey, ChatGPT, give me a review of Dalmore 12-year Scotch whiskey.
Did he say ChatGPT? Did you hear that?
He's got a special version he paid for.
Hey, GPT, answer my Scotch question.
Straight from the GPT.
Today your GP.
ChatGPT.
Sorry, I was just writing on his thing.
You can't try and backtrap. The mic's picked it up.
It's got some GPT notes.
Dalmore 12-year-old is a well-regarded single malt Scotch whiskey that offers a complex and refined tasting experience, making it a popular choice among whiskey enthusiasts. It is matured for an initial 9 years in American white oak ex-bourbon casks, which imparts a soft and vanilla-like sweetness to the spirit. After this period, the whiskey is divided into 2 parts. One continues its maturation in
How long is she going to talk?
Yeah, I've zoned out.
Thank you, robot
Around the
overlords.
same time.
Back in the box.
I started thinking about something else.
Like, I'm dissociating again.
Shut
One
up,
of the issues with
bitch.
ChatGPT, it doesn't know where to stop.
I'm just going to lean into mental illness here.
All right, you're going to pour us?
Heck yeah, let's do some pouring ASMR.
She just wanted it to be about her because she can't drink.
Yeah.
Which neither
get
can
the
I, so
host.
just pour me a tat. Okay.
Oh, let's go.
Well, get it right into the mic.
So, Matt, you're in a...
Is that a lot? That's a
looked like
lot.
he just poured it.
That's way too much.
all over
I was paying attention more to the audio.
Okay. But
Just pour, pay attention
There
to
we
the
go.
pour. The
Yeah,
audio
yeah.
will come.
Is that enough?
that's enough.
So
That's a little sipper.
Matt's only taking a nip to taste it because you're in a peculiar situation today.
Yeah, we got some fresh ink on the bod, so
You
we're
gotta-
just gonna be sipping and spitting.
Do you want to give the audience a taste of that ink?
No, we will not be stripping on the video pod today.
We want this to be not banned on YouTube.
Yeah, that'll be on the OnlyFans.
He got a tattoo on Thursday.
And it's Friday.
I'm sipping here from the official TFC.
Yeah.
Scotch
Shouts
glass.
out to J&K Dynamics, also C&Den Plumbing.
C-Den Plumbing.
C-Den Plumbing. It's
Yeah.
it's C-Den. I got mixed up with J and K, and now he has 2 segmented names. C-Den.
Yeah, it's his last name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
C-Den Plumbing. Our friends who gifted us these beautiful glasses. Unless Cole didn't give it to us. Unless I'm mixing that up.
No, that's just straight from... This is Jake and Jenna.
Jake and Jenna. Well,
Yeah.
there we go. Yeah.
But, you know, Cole's cool, too.
Forget about Kay.
Cole gave me the Johnny Walker Black that I had.
He's got money now. He's doing well.
All right. Anyways, on to the new theme of the pod, which is Raph will not be able to taste anything by the time we get to the second whiskey.
Yeah, I put way too much in there.
Little
We can
did you
put it
know,
back.
actually, the more alcohol I consume, the more pretentious I get.
It's gonna be a fun pod.
Now, I always believed that it was, you got to drink to something. So, who do we drink to? Also, we're probably taking a nose on this first. What's the nose?
The
that's
nose.
what I don't know what you guys were talking about, shouting out businesses.
You're the real
but
pro.
I was nosing in here.
All right, well, tell us, what do you get out of the nose?
It smells real. You're asking for quantifications, whatever. That's nice. That's real
Some might
nice.
say that I was asking for a review on a review podcast.
Okay, look, we're bringing perspectives. Okay, this
This is...
I bring the layman.
Imagine this is like the John Wick episode where Vish came in having watched half the first movie to the fourth movie's review.
Exactly. See, you brought the pretentious cigar, official podcast all around or aficionado,
Right.
and then you brought in a drinker.
Jared, you get anything?
Alcohol.
That's my.
it's not as
you're
easy as
taking my
wine.
bit here.
It's not as easy as wine, but I always feel
We've
like
got
I
the
get,
same tongue.
because of the sugar that's in alcohol, I always like faintly smell caramel in this stuff. I don't even know if it's there.
Do I have to wait for you to sip it?
Oh yeah, I'm also fresh off a head cold, so my nose is not accurate.
Well, we're clearly prepared. To Lord Regan.
To Lord Reagan.
Cheer gently with his glasses.
I feel like... Was that really necessary?
There goes all of my thoughts. What was that about losing control?
This one for the camera.
This one's for the camera. We gotta get B-roll of that.
Just get a zoom in on him doing every spit take. And
I
just
want to
put
know
it together.
what's the finish like on that when you're.
I'm tasting it right now.
That's banned. If I catch you doing ASMR again,
Huh? We're stone cold sober.
I'm so glad I don't have headphones on. Just put them on YouTube.
You missed out on the show.
Okay, all right. Scotch.
So one thing I can't comment on is how it went down, but it went out nicely. And you know,
It's nice and smooth on the way out.
I'm just gonna drink again.
Yeah, you got a lot to get through. That was an accident.
But for something that aged 12 years, just to get swished around for a few seconds in my mouth, that was worth it. You know, it's a nice smooth. You know, I got that crisp kind of afterburn on the gums.
Yeah.
One of my favorite drinks to have is just dark rum, something that would be aged. I like dark rum in particular because you tend to get like a molasses taste out of it, which is what dark rum is made of when it's like fermented from molasses. But I feel like I'm getting something similar in that touch with Dalmore. There is, like I said, with a lot of these, I was getting like something caramelly out of it, and I don't even know if that's in it, but I just get that something about the substance of the drink and then the taste, the aroma of it.
Yeah.
Somewhere leading towards a molasses caramel kind of feel. What about you?
I'll have to honestly go another go.
Yeah, do another go.
Let me.
Just do your palate
in there.
cleansing water.
Well, you should have just double dipped on it, let it sit into what was already there. Now you've watered it down.
Good. You know what? It's the thing where you put a couple of drops of water and open up the flavor.
Now, the reason why you
I'm just
would
doing that in my mouth.
the reason why you would do that is because in a lot of alcoholic drinks, the ingredients don't dissolve all the way. So you add a little bit of water to give it something to dissolve into in order to spread the flavor around and get as much out of the ingredients as you can. That tends to be true of a drink like Ouzo, which appears like a clear drink. It's made of anise seed. But the idea is that you add a little bit of water into it and it starts to turn like a milky white. It tastes like black licorice. Originally, the Greek sailors, when they would drink Ouzo, they would like mix it with seawater to get around. But this is an Ouzo. This is Dalmore 12.
So we are adding salt.
So I'd say what was interesting the first time when I put it on the nose and took a swig, it was kind of just general alcohol, maybe even rubbing alcohol. It's like really not getting a whole lot. But when I took that sip, immediately it was like, I don't know if it was necessarily caramel, but that's what I think it was. But it was like that sort of candy sweetness come in the nose and on the palate, and maybe on the finish like a little bit of peatiness, but I didn't really get much in the middle.
What is peatiness for the people like me listening who don't know what you're talking about?
Peatiness, I only found out about this recently once I had a scotch that was advertised as being highly and extremely peaty. It's that smokiness.
Okay.
Yeah, so that whole smoky aspect and flavor is peat. Or peats, I don't know, whatever they put it in. Whatever they put in there. I assume it's peat.
Pizzas?
Pizza.
Pizza.
That's the pizza
brown
flavor.
deposit resembling oil formed the partial decomposition of vegetable matter in wet acidic conditions.
Peat moss.
Decomposed
Logs
oil.
and
You heard it here,
fans.
folks.
Good in scotch and plants.
Yeah.
In any case, yeah. So I always
Pretty solid.
associated peat with being bitter in that sense. You feel like you're on that same area?
No, I didn't really get bitterness from that. I will say, from my memory, I enjoyed the Glenfiddich 12 year. The Glenfiddich 12, because this is the 12. I enjoyed the Glenfiddich 12 a lot more than the Dalmore 12 generally. I guess I like that berry sweetness more in scotch, and Glenfiddich is much more in that Ballhouse. Whereas this
little bit fruitier.
This seems, I was probably going with like court and wheelhouse, and it's like, a ball court.
And a ballpark.
Yeah,
And you're
a
like,
ballpark.
ball house.
Ballpark, wheelhouse, ballhouse.
Battle house.
Oh my gosh, this has been so long.
And we've lost Raph. We're bringing it back.
This is now the Regan cast.
Yeah, this is like I was saying. I lose control when I'm being overpowered. There's two Regans on. I'm not prepared. I'm
You
in
merely
their
adopted the Regan house. We were born in it.
Modern mind.
Yeah, I'm outnumbered here. I'm not even on home turf. I'm on your home turf.
Yeah,
It's
that was the ref.
I didn't taste good scotch till I was a man.
Lord.
Nobody asked who I was until I was on the podcast.
Anyway,
So what's the verdict? What is the scotch for?
I really liked that. How much does a bottle of the Dalmore 12 go for? GPTD?
I bought it for, I think, 100 something Canadian. Like maybe 107. It was on sale. I think I saved $7 or $10.
Okay, that's a buy.
Yeah.
Your mic's beeping out. You gotta.
It always does every time.
Yeah, I'm just reading off the internet here. It's roughly around $115.
Nice.
Yeah.
That,
See, I got it on sale. I was right.
Yeah, actually, though, that's something I would purchase.
Yeah. All of our prices are in Canadian, by the way, audiences.
Yeah, and I would say, I would say that sips above its price range.
That's good,
Yeah,
right?
that's I don't know much about Scotch, but I can tell you what I've tried to save money on.
No, I like that. That sips above its price range. I think that's the official review for the Dalmore 12.
That's a pretty good review, I would say.
Yeah.
It's interesting when you try the first in the lineup. It's the first scotch we've had, and obviously as we go down this line, we're gonna have more to compare it to, and more to say like I like this better, I like that better.
Did you say your thoughts on the taste, flavor, notes?
Something, yeah. I was just like I'm in the caramel molasses world right now. It is nice on the sip. The pull is good. I agree with you that there's like not body to it. Right, and that's something that you.
It is nice and smooth, which is really nice. Despite how it's only got a little bit of peatiness, which I think peatiness is that smoky thing that makes it strong and hard to swallow.
I feel like the peatiness for
Maybe
me, at least, I think we're in agreement about what it would be.
Yeah.
Is that it's always on the back end.
You know what? Let me grab my phone. I think I took a picture of the box so we can actually give the audience. Here's what
I love
the box
that.
says. Yeah.
Because I'm into reading the marketing on these things.
It's not on the bottom.
Highland single malt Scotch whiskey.
Ooh.
I thought we already Googled it. What?
Huh?
We could, but I like reading the marketing on the box is always something interesting. Cause
Oh, I get you.
Well, no, what's nice about this, I've been taking your advice on this, in that if there's no actual description of flavor, it's probably bad.
Yeah.
If it's just, this is from Scotland and it has a rich history, it's like, how about you tell me if it's like caramelly or molassesy?
Well, this is interesting.
Fruity.
It's like the hierarchy that I've noticed is that on the bottom of the hierarchy is a story about where it came from. In the middle of the hierarchy is the actual taste profile of this. And then at the top of the hierarchy, we don't even bother. We just put the logo on it and you know what it is.
Yeah. Here we go. The aroma, aka the nose, citrus fruits, chocolate, aromatic spices.
I was getting maybe a little bit of the chocolate on that. Maybe that's what I confused for caramel.
I said caramel, but honestly, the idea, candy sweetness.
Yeah.
So we nailed that.
Spice.
A little bit of the spice is in there for sure.
Do you guys know what Seville oranges are?
Nope.
Just oranges.
Me neither. Seville oranges, dried fruits, and hints of vanilla pods on the palate.
Vanilla is also very popular in a lot of scotches.
Yeah.
I would say Johnny Walker.
I wonder if
Black.
that's the molasses you were tasting.
That could have been it. Could have been it. Johnny Walker Black Label, which I had just before this, is dark chocolate and vanilla is very powerful in it, especially the vanilla. But citrus fruits, again, another thing that's quite powerful. It gives it like a little bit of the early zing, not so much like the later afterburn or the bitter taste that would make it hard to swallow like peat. But yeah, a little bit of the early zing that still keeps the pull nice. But I think I agree with you in the sense that like it doesn't. What you get out of really well-aged scotches is a lot of body to it, and body's not something you always appreciate because you're looking at the top, the front and back of it.
Body, are you more talking about like in terms of flavor or like the viscosity of it? Like the thickness of the actual liquid?
A lot of the times I'm under the impression that they come hand in hand. But
interesting.
It is really a flavor thing.
Is that a thing in scotch and whiskey that it's like the actual liquid itself is more thick in some than others?
I think it is because I recall when we tried a bit of a lineup at another time here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we noticed like some of these are watery for whatever reason, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
So let's go last bit on the finishing notes. Roasted coffee and dark chocolate. I didn't really get, maybe.
That's interesting.
I didn't really get that.
I'm going to try one more sip and see if I can find that coffee.
Yeah.
So what's our review on it? It's sips above its price.
Sips above its price.
Sips above its price.
That's my review.
I agree with that.
Coffee? Okay.
No, that's the official review. That's the official TFC review of the Dalmore 12 year. It sips above its price.
By appearing on this show, I own a lot of this, you know?
I didn't sign anything.
Don't you remember the waiver?
I'm on the mortgage now.
See, the plan is to get the audience blackout drunk so they don't remember signing anything, and then we like forge their signature. So like, don't you remember signing this?
Yeah, I was joking at one point that I would on our Patreon I would call the subscriptions shares and just sell fake shares to people. This company. So like, instead of calling our Patreon subscribers, would just be called shareholders. Fake shareholders. All right. Are we ready to move on to the next one?
Let's bring out bottle number 2.
All right, bottle number 2. This was a Christmas gift from Lord Regan.
What have we got?
The Deanston Virgin Oak.
Do you want to pass me that bottle? I just want to have a look at
It's from Christmas, so I've had quite a lot of it.
Yeah, nice making excuses when we see the near empty bottle.
Yeah, I did buy it yesterday.
Aromas of heather, honey, vanilla, green apples, citrus.
Oh no, you're influencing our review.
No, that's good sign though, right? It's got it on the bottle. That was
flavors
part
of
the
candied fruits, vanilla, creamy caramel, hints of ginger and clove, finishes with spices, honeyed malt, citrus, and sweet oakiness.
Sweet oakiness.
So this
I
is
like that.
I like
one.
the advertisement on this profile.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm a big fan of the front. How it's like all the signatures and stuff, and Virgin Oak like stamped on it. So nice.
It's gonna come out.
All right, let's do some proper pours this time. We don't have a lot of this.
See, if you ever just want to impress Jarrod, just put a bunch of signatures on your bottle.
That's how it should be done.
That's
yeah.
good.
So what I was saying earlier is like if you notice the Dalmore doesn't have anything on the bottle. It comes in a box because a lot of the upper scotches will always come in a box. You're supposed to give them as gifts, right? A lot of the times.
Yeah.
in this case, this bottle probably came off a shelf. Which is not saying anything poor about it, just saying that it's where it comes from. And it has the taste profile on the bottle. That's something that I, as a consumer, appreciate because I can go down the aisle, pick a bottle that looks nice, read what it has, and I'm not like in for any surprises.
Yeah.
If the Dalmore wasn't locked away in a glass cabinet, I might not go for it because I don't know what's up.
Yeah.
I just see the 12-year and I'm like, maybe.
Well, the thing I like about it on the bottle is that I don't need to take a picture of the box or Google it later to find out what they say it's supposed to be and whether or not I'm picking up those notes.
Yes.
And I think it goes under that same thing. I can't remember what we referred it to before, but they're like, it's the Dalmore.
Yeah, I think that's the
You
other
should
thing
know.
is with the Dalmore, they're probably assuming that and like creating it for the fact that you're going to uncork this and put it in a distiller or whatever, the little crystal glasses.
Get extra fancy with it.
Yeah.
A decanter.
A decanter,
Not a
not distiller. I was like, that's the wrong word.
It's not pure enough.
The thing I appreciate about this the most is that it doesn't say Sir Dalmore in 1887.
That's because it's
Decided-
just a Deanston.
Sir,
Yeah, you
sorry,
heard me.
Winston Deanston of the American Midwest in the 1850s decided to start his own drink company.
Mr.
Blah, blah,
Jack
blah.
Daniel.
All right, let's get a nose on this bad
Oh
boy.
yeah. Oh wow, completely different
See, this is what I
from
was
the
talking
Dalmore
about.
12.
It's
You
an
get
entirely
a-
different game.
You get I get a sweetness, but
Yeah.
also a little hint, a bit of this kind of sweetness I get at the gas pumps.
I can't even. How do I describe that? Okay, the first two I smelled something, the third was rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, that's where you get the oh yeah, I'm gonna feel that going down.
I'm trying to smell past my caramel instinct.
I've lost it. I was going more vanilla, but I think it's that same idea. It's on the more candy sweet side of things.
I will say I noticed something. One, it's a lot easier on the nose than the Dalmore was, and two, I'm getting like a slight
Easier on the
floral
nose.
thing.
Really, I feel the opposite. I feel this one kind of comes for the nose. The Dalmore, a lot stronger scent, but it wafted in. This is like burning down the forest of nose hairs on its way through.
I think
Yeah.
you're just dealing with like nostril proximity dynamics.
Okay,
there.
first, don't forget, everyone, take a sip of water if you haven't already.
Making fun of my nose.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking to you. What does that have to do with water?
Sorry, I was thinking about it.
I'm gonna spit in your glass next.
Oh yes, I like the nose on that one. All right.
Yeah, afterwards we'll do a review of my spit take.
Oh, I can see the bubbles.
What should we drink to this time?
That spit takes.
To gas prices.
Gas prices.
I think this one's a lot more citrusy to me. All around, it's a little bit of a, not as nice of a pull, not as nice of a sip as the Dalmore was, but its middle section was nicer.
I think what I would say, the Dalmore, having you're just waiting for the time. I think this one, the nose gave it all away.
Yeah.
It's like where it was on the nose was where it was on the palate, which was where it was on the finish. The Dalmore had much more of like a flavor journey going on.
This one is pretty straightforward. I would say I got a lot of the citrus out of it.
I couldn't really put my nose on anything.
I feel it's got a bit more of the burny, but I do like the flavors hitting. I feel like this would. Actually, I can tell you from experience, this makes a mean whiskey ginger.
Ooh.
I could see that.
It
I
does.
could see that.
Maybe
'Cause
they'll
I
do
could
that
see
with the
like
last of it.
this kind of citrus profile that it's got is gonna go really well with a bit of ginger, and I think it does have a bit of ginger in it too. So there's that. It was saying that it finishes on a sweet oakiness, and I would say that does lend it a little bit of its base.
That is what it's not something I would enjoy sipping as its own drink too much. It's not like completely apart from that possibility, but the whiskey ginger it makes, elevated. Because that you kind of with that
Better than Crown Royal ginger?
oh, way better. But this also like it loses any of the kind of harshness that remains with the Scotch at this level, gone from the ginger ale, right? But then that lets all the rest of the flavor really shine on it.
You know what I actually really like personally, because I drank this entire thing neat, and so it was actually really nice getting back to it. After having the Dalmore, I tried the Glenlivet 12 in between as well, and the Glenfiddich 12.
You know, like this is home.
And it was like coming back to this, like this was what I'd had before, like to start all of that.
Yeah.
If
was
home
nice.
is a Deanston bottle, then you're an alcoholic.
No, that's if it's a Jack Daniels.
If home is a Crown Royal bottle,
You can be a wealthy alcoholic.
I mean, is there any other kind? No, I'm kidding. There's a lot of other kinds, and they're quite awful.
If you're poor, you don't deserve to be an alcoholic.
You're not a real alcoholic.
I'm just saying that if you look at the Crown Royal and think that that's an expensive, fancy drink, Lord help you.
Now, Raph,
And this podcast is not for you.
can we get a price point on the Deanston Virgin Oak?
Let's do that.
You're gonna put a price point on Dad's Christmas gift?
We gotta. How much does he love us?
What if we quote Michael Scott here? A gift is saying, "This is how many dollars worth I love you."
This will be a good time to find out because we're in his house and he's on vacation.
We are looking at approximately $60.
Dang,
Wow.
that's solid.
Okay.
Considering that we were considering that we were just side by side comparing this with, and it seemed to hold its own slightly against the Dalmore 12.
Yeah,
For
no, it's got a different.
practically half the price.
It's got a different enjoyment, and it's got a solid enjoyment, and I very much liked it.
Does this one sip above its price?
Oh,
Did you enjoy this as much as the other one?
No, definitely
Hands
not.
down.
face
I
the
did not
camera.
No.
I can honestly say I enjoyed the Dalmore 12 better, probably for obvious reasons. You were right about it being kind of more of a journey. I think it was more complex. And it showed me that it was here. I feel like Deanston signed in quietly and then left at Irish exit,
Yeah, try and phrase it some way without knowledge of Scotch. I enjoyed the Dalmore 12. I would drink the Deanston. If I had $60 in my pocket, would I care which $60 bottle? Would I go for a Deanston again, or would I roll the dice on a new $60 bottle? That's
thing.
what I would do.
A Glenfiddich 12 is $74.
See, I haven't had that, but I would
Then again,
probably
before tax.
Okay, well, this would be 60 before tax too, so
Yeah.
shut your face.
Yeah.
Anyways, on to my monologue. I would roll the dice, or even chuck an extra 15. Go for that Glenfiddich 12 that my brother told me to try.
It's a spot that I'm glad I came here. Look at all these pictures of the time I visited, but I don't think I'd be going there again. Because somewhere new.
I thought you were
would be more
talking
fun.
about our house for a second.
I do enjoy the Deanston. I actually quite like it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be back.
Yeah.
It's a good time. I can see why you think this is home.
That's a solid Scotch. I could break this out at I have some friends over for dinner or something, I'm throwing a party, and go, yo, who wants some Scotch? Bust out the Deanston.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. That's also it's worthy of a sipper with the buds.
Yeah.
Or if you want to be fancy on mixing them drinks,
It's
because
like-
my whole bottle disappeared to whiskey gingers.
There you go.
and they will. It's one of the ones where if you busted that out for mixed drinks,
Yo.
at that point, I feel like people would think you gave them a much more expensive Scotch.
Yeah.
No.
I think this has its place, and it knows what it is.
It just needs a
solid.
co-pilot.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great thing to keep in mind is all of these drinks have their place. Like I was just saying, you don't break out the $200 bottle every day. You break it out for the special occasion.
Yeah.
Then again, if you do break out something every day, I'm worried about you. All right. Do we feel like moving on to the next one?
Yeah, let's do. Oh man, maybe we don't.
Maybe we don't.
No, it's okay. The bullet's next, right?
Oh, we've got A little surprise for the audience.
Whoops,
A little bit of a
spoiler
bonus
alert.
round.
Scott, we've got a bonus bullet bourbon.
Yes,
Courtesy
it is,
of Lord Regan.
Are we able to cut in the middle here? If
Yeah.
there's okay, cool. I'm gonna take a piss.
Take a slight break. Now we're rolling.
Oh yeah, no, I was talking about the sound.
Oh no, the sound. We're good.
Yeah,
So
okay.
nobody's touched the knobs. We're
Nice. Don't touch your knobs. What do you?
he was like, wait, guys.
We're leaving that in.
My amber tint.
We might just have some dog paws walking around.
So cute.
He's a good boy. And we're back.
We're hooked up.
We're back.
We took a short break between the last couple drinks. We're at the bonus round now.
Oh yeah, the bonus bullet bourbon.
The bonus bullet bourbon round. What's the? Can I see the bottle?
Oui.
I see. No, I mean like plastic. Frontier whiskey, bourbon whiskey, Kentucky. What is the significance of Kentucky and bourbon? Is it just like the home of it?
It sounds like an absolute classic. Kentucky bourbon
Yeah.
rolls off the tongue, which makes me think bourbon started in Kentucky.
Made using
Bold statement
our
to the public.
family's
Say turkey bourbon.
Shut up! I'm reading.
Doesn't
the label.
work.
Yeah, you turkey.
Made using our family's high rye mash bill and pure Kentucky limestone filtered water. That's it. The rest of it's in French.
Canada.
It's as soon as I came in here. This is my little story with this. As soon as I came in here, I was like, he welcomed me to try a sip of one of these things.
And you took
or
half
more.
the bottle.
I didn't take half the. It was already like this when I.
We'll know when he reviews the footage.
Yeah, we'll see. He does have a really good memory for what's in there. I took a nip of this when I first came in, just to like, christen me coming in here. And as soon as I did, I was like, this is a pleasant experience. I had got everything I wanted out of this drink. It did not hurt. In fact, it was quite pleasant. A lot of the times when you get a shot of something, you're like, this is going to be painful. There's no experience I've had with tequila that's been like, oh, this is nice and pleasant. I'll drink it again. No, you're forced to drink tequila, even if it is the rocks.
We're different people.
Matt's like, yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I was talking to our other friend Josh, and he was saying, "It's like, what's your no drink?"
Oh,
What's
for
the
him,
drink?
it's Crown Royal.
For him, it's whiskey in general. I think.
Oh, no, I think it's specifically Crown.
Probably Crown Royal most than anything. For me, my yes drink is rum. My no is tequila. I'll still do it because I'm a chump, and if you give it to me with some salt and lime, I'll be like, all right, fine. But I don't purposefully lean towards tequila.
I'm betting me and Matt are the same. There's no such thing as a no drink.
Oh no, I definitely have one.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What's your
it's
no drink?
Caribou Malt,
The word.
the
that-
8% can.
The thing I guess you had, I was going to say the thing you had like so many
The
boxes of.
red Caribous. Yeah.
Oh, but the green ones you're fine with.
Oh, I mean, green ones are.
Just
I've had like maybe a can ever. Caribou
I
Blanc.
remember you used to
Caribou
like-
Blanc's a decent trash beer, but the Caribou Malt, that's.
You used to be the caribou guy.
Yeah.
It was all you had.
But you know, flew too close to the sun, and now.
Can you tell us a little bit about your bourbon beer journey? Because that was like a phase that you had a little while ago.
I found out that it's really easy to make a bourbon beer because you just put bourbon in beer.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always taste as good as it does at the keg. I don't know what bourbon they use, but it's different than the one I used, and it's way better. Because I was using Knob Creek bourbon, which is not very good.
I've only ever seen it's like they serve you a shot and they serve you the beer and you just dump the shot in the pint and
but I used Knob Creek with the Dark Matter, which is the Dark Matter beer they use.
right.
But they're clearly using a better bourbon than I was because it did not go well together. What I found did go well together taste-wise was the Chestnut Ale and Fireball. Tastes so good, but is extremely strong. Hence Matt's story.
No, picturing that right now just feels like it would
I
taste
just
It
disgusting.
tastes incredible.
Fireball and Jaeger are two things that I just associate with like college frats.
I love
over
Jaeger.
Jaegers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fireball, no.
Have you
it's-
guys had this before?
I think we had this
Yeah.
You and I.
before here, like from this bottle, probably.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I mean, probably.
Well, should we give it a pour?
Let's give it
Heck
a pour.
yeah. A proper pour. No.
That's good.
This was definitely on the sweeter side of things, I think. We were playing around. We've been saying that of everything. Look, all alcohol has sugar in it. That's how the alcohol happens.
This is on the sweeter side of things. I wonder if there's like a savory scotch.
It's bacon flavored.
Oh. Horrendous.
Hey man, these IPA brewers will do anything.
Awoke terrible memories in me.
All right. Terrible memories of bacon flavored scotch.
No, bacon flavored jelly beans.
Oh lord,
Goodness.
that sounds awful.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
Anyways, on topic.
Yeah, you don't want to know about that one.
This, I'm getting that, but by the way, preface, honorable mention, because it's a nice whiskey we got on hand. Not a scotch, still a whiskey. And compared to what comes next, deserving of being on the pod. I'm getting similar to what I was getting with the Deanston. You're back into you get some fumage, right? But it's much more pleasant. It's letting you know it's there, but it's not burning down the forest. It's stomping through the trees.
Yeah. That's got, I don't know. I'm, for some reason, associating these in colors. This literally, the Deanston smells yellow and that smells red. I don't know. I don't know how to say that differently.
The same kind of floral effect that I was getting from the Deanston, because the Deanston was citrus, very powerful.
I
in the
think
citrus
that's what it
area.
is. It's citrusy.
So when something is fruity, maybe it's got a little bit of the
Yeah, it's got that fruity sweetness, opposed to the candy sweetness.
yeah.
It's probably connected because the Dalmore a lot less burn and you're a lot more to the red, right? This guy's an in between the Deanston, which is the yellow.
Yeah.
And you got a nice orange on it.
And this
we go.
dude,
There's
this
probably
guy
something there.
is not even a Scotch, so it's like a different family altogether that we're talking about. Anyhow, what do we drink to?
Little break.
To not tapping the glasses too strong. Alan's watching.
Of course, in my hand.
This one's my own glass.
You were saying that the Deanston is like home to you. This is home to me now. I'm enjoying this.
It's almost a shame that we got to spit that out.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a hard aftertaste though.
Yeah.
And it's not in a...
It's almost the signature
Yeah.
of bourbons that you should feel bad for drinking this. You should feel bad after you take the sip. It could be good, like the first touch of it, and the overall quality of the bourbon could be great. But at the end of it, it should make you feel like you've done bad
Yeah.
things. You've done bad things, and that's why you deserve bourbon.
I feel like this and a steak dinner would just...
I want to say, I'm leaning towards licorice, but I really think the flavor I'm tasting is that orangey, zesty sort of thing. It's like that. It's more on the fruit sweetness, citrusy side of things.
It is characterized by a high rye content for bourbon, being aged at least 6 years. It's bottled at least 45%.
Dang.
British, Dutch, Mexican. Yep, okay.
6 years, 2018. Oh, wait, that's not when this was bought, though. Who knows?
And what are we getting on the price there?
Oh, look at the price now. Let's get it.
Give a reach.
Have we got any... give her each there.
We are
See.
looking at approximately, for the Boulier, is this the Kentucky Straight? Or is it?
It is the Boulier Bourbon Frontier Whiskey.
$42.75.
Oh, okay. See, I would...
Would you snag that?
I was thinking like Deanston or that. What would I go for?
I would prefer the Deanston.
I would also prefer the Deanston. But I think for $40, that definitely sips above its price range.
Definitely, because I remember the Knob Creek well, and Knob Creek is about $40 if I remember right. and it is nowhere near that good. Knob Creek is bad.
Don't do this.
It ruined a good beer for you.
Literally, after that night, which was Knob Creek, I poured out the rest of that bottle.
I'm going to say that I
No
would
joke.
like, if I'm assembling a shelf,
Yeah.
and I got to have bourbon on that shelf, this is my go-to for the bourbon.
Of the 2 bourbons I know, I would agree.
Yeah. I would say it was pleasant. It's exactly what I want out of bourbon. The taste profile of it is good.
The bottle's cool. I really like the bottle. I like the bottle on
true.
this better than the Deanston.
What?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's got a
choice.
nice shape. I will give it that.
Deanston looks like someone tried to make a pot for the first time, right? And slapped
Pot?
You know, like they're trying to do the pottery thing, but the neck's a funny shape now. And the
I was thinking like a stovetop pot. Oh, what?
no, and just a paper label. This has got, you know, it's got, they put some effort into the glass here. You got
Well, they're going
bumpy.
on the they're playing on the virgin oak thing. It's like that's how they got the paper signatures. This is wood. I don't know. I've never seen virgin oak.
Like I said, it's just like it's a good shelf essential. You know, if you're trying to put together your bar, you need a solid bourbon to be on that list. You
At
need
a
something
very
that's-
easy price point to get an extra slide and fanciness, you know,
Damn.
another flavor profile in on the shelf,
Yeah.
right?
That's huge.
That's a buy.
The extra the extra flavor profile is a real contender.
Yeah,
It's
right?
huge.
Because you
this
don't
is
want
different from
everything to
everything
match
we've
up,
had,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, for
Deanston is something I would get as an alternative to Dalmore. Like, you know, if I want to save
Yes,
that Dalmore
yeah.
12, sip the Deanston.
Yeah.
But
I'm
you know,
wondering if you're saying that just because we happen to have them back to back and we compared them directly.
what do you mean? At which part?
About saying that you would go for a Deanston over a Dalmore.
Oh no, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
No, I was saying like if you wanted to like go for a cheap like you know, you want to save your Dalmore 12,
Sure.
so you sip your Deanston. But you know, I wouldn't go for the bourbon because I want to save my Dalmore. You know, I'd go there for a different profile.
Yeah, it's a different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, bourbon is supposed to make you feel, like I said, you've done something bad.
So what's the we got a whiskey ginger. Mm-hmm. What is the bourbon equivalent that's not a bourbon beer? Or
My
is
coffee.
it what?
You would put this in a coffee? I mean,
Is that Irish coffee?
it's whiskey in a coffee.
Yeah.
So yes.
No, that I would drink on its own, easy.
Yeah, no, I would take this straight.
mean,
I've
yeah,
been
you just
taking
did.
it straight. I haven't taken it not straight. To be
Whoa.
honest. So there you go. just let that phrase echo out there for a minute.
Just straight, folks. You heard
Just
it here.
straight. Anything else is off the podcast.
I like just the general not straight.
This brought to you by their church sponsorship.
Let's call Nancy back and go on that retreat. We'll bring this
Yeah.
bottle.
We gotta get the husband on the podcast. What was
Oh
his
my
name?
God, tonic.
Yeah. That's tonic.
Tonic.
Anyways, how do we actually pronounce the boulet?
I thought it was bullet.
Bullet?
Oh wow, no, there's an I.
Well, I know.
Well, bourbon,
yeah.
bourbon, is a French. It's a French word.
It's what?
French word.
Anyways, here we have this Brillant Bourbon.
Bourbon is a French word because there's a place in France called Bourbon.
Is that where Bourbon first was made?
I wonder, probably. Just like champagne comes from the Champagne region of France.
No way.
Yes.
You didn't
Could
know
have
that?
sworn it was Kentucky.
Well, there was a lot of like
All I knew is that champagne was a failed wine.
in the earlier history of America, French aristocracy became pretty mixed with American aristocracy, especially in southern regions. That's why you get a lot of people in like the New Orleans culture is partially French. They have a big Haitian population. They're a French-speaking southern kind of area.
And the Quebecois.
Ho ho.
That's kind of like the other side of the coin. No fancy alcohol over there, just a lot of poutine, so cholesterol.
And maple
yeah.
syrup and snow.
Maple syrup is everywhere in Canada.
Dude.
And so is snow in abundance.
Not in Vancouver.
we get our
Yeah, the
spots.
one day it is, everybody panics.
Yeah, because nobody here knows how to drive. Or at least we all forget in this, like, the smallest
Nah, just
accident.
regularly. No one knows how
A
to drive,
drop of rain happens and we all just lose our minds.
including me.
Yeah. It's just overall reviews of the Boulet Bourbon. That's probably not how it's pronounced, but you know.
This is the Fancy Things podcast.
Smoky price point. 100% worth it.
Okay. Okay. Do we move on now
Let's
to
suffer.
our
The best
loathed
scotch of the night.
Goodbye, sweet bourbon. And
I don't want to say
hello.
anything about this next entry. I just want Matt to try it first, and then we'll read the label, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll see what's happening.
I don't know what I'm getting into, but
This is
let me.
the McClellan.
Yeah, we got the not Macallan. We
I
got.
do want to, while he reads this bottle, I wanted to say we have an honorable mention that didn't make it into our lineup. Red Grouse is another Scotch that was on
Oh,
the shelf.
no, it's the famous grouse.
The famous grouse, sorry, and we decided to just pass it over because we remember having it and be like, "There's nothing remarkable about
We
this
remember that it was
skull."
forgettable.
Yeah,
All right, let me intro the label here because I don't know what I'm getting into. I know you guys are very excited for me to try this
Yeah.
for very obviously scary reasons.
And we're putting ourselves through it again.
But that's not.
You know, it's not-
You know, that's not,
we don't
not what
wanna
I'm getting
color-
from McClellan's Islay label here. So
did you say Islay?
No, let him have it.
All right. Few whiskeys evoke a sense of place better than this tangy single malt. Hailing from an island revered by whiskey lovers the world over, McClellan's Islay single malt Scotch whiskey is a hearty, full-bodied dram with a strong hit of peat. This beautiful, bold single malt comes from the famous island of Islay, a robust dram with a taste of the sea. Does that about sum it up?
Yeah, I think that sums up its flavor
tell you-
profile perfectly.
It evokes a place. I'm going to tell you that. It evokes a place. I'll tell you that.
It evokes.
I'm going to clear my palate and you're going to pour me some of that
Oh my gosh.
gorgeous, robust single malt. I don't know what a dram is, but dram me up. Let's see what we're getting into.
For the audience, our palate cleansers here is filtered water.
Straight from the fridge.
When Matt was reading that label, I was like, why are we doing this again? Just, it reminded me
way
of,
too much.
So, yeah, you deserve it
You did.
for saying Islay.
I should make you drink more. That word is isle. Just in case anybody.
That is not how you spell isle.
Wait, I thought it was Islay. Do you want more?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's not how you spell isle.
Is that good?
The isle.
Is that good? What?
I don't know, but isle is
Because it's-
ISLE.
Wait, what word were you looking at?
The one that says that reads
that's
exactly the way I pronounced
That's an
it.
Spell
A.
it.
No, that's an A. It's got an AY in it.
Oh, okay, then that is
Where do you,
Islay.
where do you think
Yeah,
I'm
it's
getting
Islay.
Islay from?
Yeah, the fact that there's a silent S on there.
Oh, yeah, then it's-
It's S for silent.
Islay.
I thought he was.
Italy.
I thought he was saying is the.
I'm not a retard.
I love
don't know.
that you
It's
corrected
really
him by.
hard.
I love that you corrected him by calling it Isle.
We're both stupid. Only one of us knows it.
I'm the only smart one on the podcast.
I do a better impression of a smart person than you guys do, to be honest.
I know you haven't fit. Be a man. Pour it. Pour it.
How scared are you of this, Jared?
I'm scared. It's just
I'm
bored.
not,
It's
I'm not
like
scared. He says with his little baby pour.
shut up. Don't you do this?
I'm
Put it
not
in
even.
his.
I'm not even drinking
Don't
it.
you dare.
Yeah, good. You should. I mean,
Okay.
you should.
The nose profile.
I just nosed this thing.
I just nosed this bad
nosed
boy.
I wish I didn't.
I was like, we shouldn't have.
Oh yeah.
If I didn't know what the word dram meant before, I do now.
Does that not evoke a place?
I'm drammed.
I agreed to drink this scotch again for the joke, but now I'm like, the more I engage with it, the
Yeah.
less I want to.
I think I've got acid reflux.
Wow, I
So
can't believe.
Can we just tell like the quick story of
I think I've got acid reflux.
established in 1818? This apparent. You were telling us your dad thought it was a completely different brand.
He got it mixed up with Macallan.
Yes, and he got McClellan by accident. And when you drink a drink and you expect it to be a Macallan, and it turns out to be McClellan,
Yeah.
you are gonna be sorely disappointed.
Let me just tell you. I really want to tell you what I'm thinking, but I still want to wait until after you have a taste.
Just to be sure, the review of this thing that we first heard was, oh.
Okay. I think for this one, just based on what I'm expecting, can I get a price point before I dive in?
Oh yeah. Let's change it up. Price point time.
Listen, whatever this thing's priced at, it's too much.
Can I hear $10?
I'm getting hints of old apple juice.
How many years did they say this was whatever?
It was established in 1818. We don't know when it was actually aged.
No, but it doesn't say how long this is aged.
Because it's not.
To be a Scotch whiskey, I think it needs like a minimum of something.
Interesting. I wonder if it's 12 years.
Sure, there's a minimum.
I'm sure I've seen an 8-year-old Scotch.
What? No, that's definitely
Maybe
not.
I've seen an 8-year-old whiskey.
No, it would be younger than that.
It has a more expensive older brother called that's $50, but
The more expensive
It's $50.
is $50.
so more expensive.
Hey, that's above the
All
bourbon.
right.
Yeah.
So
what- hold
you
on.
can find this at your local dollar store
Wait.
general.
Just the fact that this
For-
didn't come up
But wait.
on Google when I type it in.
Oh, so we don't actually know the price point of this.
I know the more expensive one. We can assume that this one
Wow.
is probably half the price.
You know what? Let's
Reasonable.
dive in.
Let's dive in,
Let's
boys.
just get an extra
What do
water.
we
sip.
drink to with this one here?
Little, evoking a sense of place
Okay.
to the Islay or whatever.
Dram it
To
up.
Islay.
Some of it went down.
Oh.
Oh,
Pop it off, pop it off, pop it off.
No, I need to. I'm diving back in. I just needed to.
Yeah, go, go, go. Oh, some of it went down. Oh.
let me just describe the place to you that this evokes. All right. Think about like the mid 1700s, and it's a dock on the coast of Ireland where a bunch of sailors have just come back from a long voyage, and they don't have shoes, and they're all have gangrenous feet. And they step off of their sailing ship, where most of them have died of disease, and they walk across this dock to finally return home to their potato famine lives. And then we took the dock, and we broke the dock down with its rotting boards, and we made a barrel. And then we decided to make a whiskey and put it in that barrel and age it in that barrel. So what you taste immediately is the shock of just alcohol and feet.
Yeah, you're getting the salt for sure.
That's a good one.
The long journey on that. Yeah.
It is salty.
Yeah.
It's oddly like watery
Hey,
too. It's like the feeling of drinking this.
an island.
It's oddly watery.
That's dram, baby.
Yeah.
Its body is like very thin. There's very little character to it, and then
Yeah.
it just burns your mouth with alcohol.
The
The burn is not my issue with it at all. Pure unflavor. How is all the flavor bad?
yeah, right?
I've drinking some garbage bottom of the barrel whiskeys, whatever. Like that.
They
That's
set out to
disgusting.
accomplish the goal of how do we make this bad? Like, I'm sorry, McClellan, if you're watching this and you work at this company that makes this Scotch whiskey,
Thank you.
why? That's what I want to know. Why?
Which is what exactly I would expect all the people working there to be doing is watching podcasts instead of watching over what should be a much more carefully curated process.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I just love.
Does anybody drink this and enjoy it?
That's the question.
Yeah.
My original description of this flavor still stands, and what's even better is that now I get it on the nose and the palate and the finish, is that it tastes like picking up an old piece of wood from the forest and biting it. And I'm not even joking.
But you just finished killing a slug on it with a lot of salt. A lot of salt.
There's a touch of the sea in this one.
Just
that's
chug
for
that
sure.
water.
I'm still tasting it.
The one thing I like about this drink is that it makes all the other scotch seem better. Which is why we put it in the middle of our lineup. Just to kind of bring us back to 0.0. Because we know now, we have an idea of what scotch could be. We also know the bad side of what this could be. Or at least we have a good understanding of what this isn't.
That sounded great.
I feel like this episode is just for your dad.
Hold on. Was that from the scotch flavor?
Yes. I was not joking about the
Oh
reflux.
my gosh. I think I've got acid reflux. Oh my goodness. See, this is why we kept the McClellans on this review and not the famous grouse. Because the famous grouse is famous for being forgettable in my books. It's like, it's just nothing. It's like, sure, I guess that's an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah.
But this is like, wow. If you want to know how scotch can taste terrible, McClellan's Islay.
If you want to know what the bottom of the shelf, what the lowest,
What
on the
underneath the shelf is.
I don't want to drink this. Out of everything,
Yeah,
like
this
I
is-
would have everything else. I don't
Yeah.
want this. I would
Yeah.
actually say no. I'd rather be sober.
Would
Like,
I mix that
literally-
into a drink? No.
No, it's
not
like
even.
if this was my price range, I would never buy this.
But you know what? I would still say that's a buy because it's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
I would,
There you
I would
The
have.
only thing we've been able to justify even $20 on this with is novelty.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's something I would fill my old Johnny Walker Blue Label bottle with as a joke.
Just mess with people.
This is
be
why
like-
you're the evil brother.
Yeah. Be like, you know what? We're good friends. I'm going to pour you some of this Blue Label. They're going to expect to love it.
I'm never gonna trust your scotch now.
That's how you ruin friendships.
You're going to hate this next bottle then. I actually finished it 3 months ago.
You can't lie. I see that color.
Spit.
All right.
Old spit.
Do we want to move on to the last of the bottles?
Yeah.
Do we
First,
wanna-
we're gonna do a magic cut here because the glasses definitely need to be rinsed thoroughly.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
And we also need to order a pizza.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we're
That was what I was thinking.
I need
to
to
it,
rinse
folks.
my mouth thoroughly as well.
Might as well brush the teeth right now. It's like
That sticks, I'll tell you that. whatever they use, the
finish
flavor
is still there.
It finishes. That's a varnish.
That's the end.
I got a Scotsman's foot callus in my mouth. It's a whole.
If you got something you can't get rid of, throw McClellan's at it. It'll
You
work.
can clean some things with this. That's for sure.
Oh man, that's so
Put it in a
good.
spray bottle, mix it with some water, and just
Yeah.
germs be gone.
You know, not getting that final stain off the dishes, you know. After your soap, you know,
Give it a go.
flick a little McClellan's into the wash or shut it and see what
I
happens.
feel like if you drank this and you got pulled over by a cop, you'd roll out the window and be like, "Oh, you need to get home. Like, just go." I've had a rough
So
night. We got one more scotch on the road, but before
yeah.
we get to it, thoughts so far about our little journey that we've taken here?
This has been my favorite episode.
It's because
yeah, that too, actually.
You've been on like 3 episodes.
3,
You've been on
yeah.
3
So
episodes.
this is still my favorite. Thoughts so far is wow. Like the McClellans ruined everything before that for me. Like that,
Yeah.
that left a emotional mark.
I didn't think I could give something a 0 out of 10,
Yeah,
but that's what a 0 is.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 for character.
That is some spicy, salty gutter
That is
water.
a spicy meatball.
It is the bottom of the bottom shelf.
Yeah.
We keep this, even if, like, look, if you're someone who's had a bad day and, you know, the alcohol, you're seeking alcohol for some punishment, you'd still go to, like, the bourbon.
No, that's how you kick alcoholism.
That's how you
You
kick
drink a
alcohol.
McClellan's and go, I never want to drink again.
What am I doing with my life?
Yeah, like you asked me at the beginning if I had one drink that I just can't do anymore. And you know what? I'm changing my answer. It's the McClellan.
There's some no drinks.
I really understand why you guys were like, you were shaking a little bit on the pour and why you both didn't want to do this again for the pod.
I thought it would be fun to do it for the novelty, and the closer we got to actually drinking it, I was like, oh, I actually don't want this. This is not good.
You're like, all right, now, you know, this will make good footage, but I forgot I actually have to partake.
Yeah.
Even the novelty isn't worth it.
Yeah, I don't like the novelty.
I should give him
wears
some
out.
bad lighting in the B-roll.
But you're welcome. We do have a really nice change up.
Well, I don't know. We're
After
gonna get to it. I was just asking you, like,
okay.
the journey so far.
That was
Matt,
such a
you
good
came.
segue.
You said,
I know. I tried.
I'm sorry.
We'll clap them.
You
You know,
this is why.
let's cut this around. But go on.
This is why I host the podcast.
I thought this was our podcast. We agreed when we came in here.
He was trying to power move by taking away your segue.
Yeah. Now just
Go
walking
on.
like a
What
normal.
I was asking is, you sat down here today. You're like, I don't really know much about any of this stuff. Not really that interested.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you came away from this experience with something different? Like you got a bit of a tour about what Scotch could be.
Yeah, I didn't realize the bar was so low to be called a Scotch. You know, that word held something for me before.
We've tried some nice things today. You know, the Dalmore and the other stuff. We're still got one more really nice one. courtesy
Yeah,
of
I
you,
think
but,
my biggest takeaway is like the bourbon, what quality you can get at some decent price points.
yeah, for sure.
And even for a splurgy one, you know, at like a mild splurgy one,
Mild
at
splurge.
a mild splurge on that, I would splurge all over that Dalmore 12.
I would say that is a mildly splurgy. Sips up of its price. Kind of. Jared, the
Yeah.
journey so far.
Delightful, enjoyable, pretty much exactly what I expected. I
Little
like the
peaty.
so far a little peaty. So far I like the Dalmore 12 the best, Deanston second best,
Yeah.
Bourbon third best, and McClellan's doesn't make the list.
I 100% agree with you. McClellan's makes the list in hell.
Yeah.
Top of the
See,
line.
we have tried 4, and somehow McClellan's is in a rocky 6th. 5th being the water in between. Special shout out.
Hold on,
and
does that mean it made 7th?
No. Yeah, sorry. 4th would be the water. 5th is going to be my spit jar. 6th is McClellan's.
Maybe. If Bear goes out for a piss today, we'll.
Should I bring it out?
Yeah, all
Matt,
right.
do you want to segue again?
You can do your segue.
You know what?
Dance monkey.
I'll cut it in here.
This one's like, yeah, cut it in. Anyways,
ChatGPT, could you put in Matt's segue?
I'm going to pour this one for you guys.
Oh, okay, because you're not going to give us any?
No, I'm not going to. Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna pour McClellan's in our glasses.
He's rationing it.
Damn right I am.
The smallest glass in the cabinet. Hold on, what
And
country
I'm
is that
not
from?
going to fill it.
Is there a standard
gold
rimmed.
shot size?
I
Is
don't
there
know.
like a legal
Yeah, one shot.
size? Because
But,
shot glasses are different shapes. And
We
stuff.
got some real tall ones in there.
Jared, what do we have for us?
That right there is the Dalmore 18.
Exactly.
It's the Dalmore 12's big brother.
Yep.
We madame.
Well, hang on. I mean, like, machines tend to be female. So do you call a Scotch female too? Would you be like, oh, she's got some kick? Or
Eh.
I feel like we've been talking about the Scotches like they're guys.
Yeah, but we've been drinking them straight.
That's true. I like the Archer joke where he's like, I call anything a she if it's more feminine than you. Oh, he's like,
You got the least.
Yeah, because I'm absolutely
Oh, right.
not spitting this one.
Yeah.
And I still don't want to drink too much.
Maybe I'll never get a tattoo.
so
That's alcoholism. I could never not drink for a few days.
So I'm expecting that this is just going to be like A lot like the Dalmor 12, with the
That
exception.
just needs to be away from the edge.
Yeah.
I think actually
do
you told me
wanna
this.
you want to cradle this?
Yeah.
Are you guys done scraping a glass bottle?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dance monkey.
Got me. I'll refer something that you told me, Jarrod, was that you were expecting that this would be a lot like the 12, but with more body. I'm inclined to think the same thing. Thoughts on the nose?
Oh.
I like this one.
Wow.
It doesn't smell as strong. It's almost more aromatic.
Yeah, I get that. I get a flowery.
Yeah,
Very. Yeah. It's got a deep smell to it.
Yeah. It's something.
It almost at first feels like it resembles the sting of other scotches, but it's just, I don't know.
Wow.
It's there and it's strongly
It's
there.
really pleasant, honestly. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually
up until now,
like a solid cologne.
it's like even with swirling, there's always been that big alcohol taste, flavor, smell. And even now it's here, but it's way more diminished, allowing for that more flowery smell that I'm getting. And after swirling, it really diminishes it even more and just is a very pleasant aroma.
Now, is this diminished or is it just blending so well with everything?
Probably blending. Who knows?
Yeah.
Now, boys, take this one in slow. Get a very
Yeah.
small step
Hold on.
to start yourself off.
We got to cheers.
What do we drink to this time?
McClellan's.
To the Scottish. So this is what Scotch could be.
Oh, wow.
That is an entirely
Do you get those tingles in your
different
mouth?
Yeah. Whoa.
Right?
That's wild.
Almost like it's making the
Ooh.
hair on your arms stand up, but
You know what?
inside your taste buds.
You know what's for real for me on this one? For some reason, maple syrup. As soon as I started taking that sip, it was maple syrup. And then while you were talking just there, when I went, ooh, I got a finish of maple syrup. That's crazy. It's so good. And like we said, the body was much more flavorful than the Dalmor 12. It was so good. The palate.
Yeah.
Wow, that
And
was
just-
delicious.
The flavor and lightness it leaves in your mouth, like my tongue's floating a little bit.
Dude, that's so good.
Everything in this
Wow.
one
Oh,
is so
I know.
just got more of it.
It's let it waft through you.
It's all so well blended together that I feel like I'm having a hard time telling what was the pull, what was the finish, what was the body, because it's all just one smooth ride the whole way through.
That was so good. Hold on. What is the price point on this bad boy?
Let's break it out.
Now you know why I absolutely refused to spit it out.
Oh man, and why you rationed it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was good.
Would you like to lick the inside of the shot
Do you guys
glass?
want to take a guess about the price range here? Hang on. Matt, where did you get this bottle?
I have a source that we are going to remain undisclosed. I get my bottles for free.
Fell off the back of a truck.
Do you guys want to take a guess at the price?
I'll say
I know what it costs.
$350 to $400. Solely because I know it's over Blue Label.
We are at $450 for the bottle.
Dang, man.
And just like, you'd think that the price would be somewhat proportional to the year. It's like this is 4 times the price of a 12 year,
Yeah,
roughly.
I can see why, man.
This is what Scotch could
That
be.
was maybe it's because we had the McClellans first, like juxtaposed.
Which was a deliberate move to like cleanse our palates a little bit.
Well,
and
I'm
just-
wondering if
or
it's
the
like-
opposite.
There's nowhere to go but up, and
Yeah.
so anything would have been, oh wow, that's
But
amazing.
I believe that if we put shot next to shot, this is a
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
different experience. Matt was teasing an idea earlier. What if we did the 12 year right after this?
That's what I'm thinking. If we go to the 12 right after, now you can say,
Oh, like
was it
now?
Now we
Oh,
bring it back
shoot.
to where we started because we just had the
Ooh.
18. Let's compare
Yeah.
that depth of flavor profile. See if this sips at 4.5 times
yeah.
the price point that the 12 already
No.
sips
Oh
above.
my goodness.
I'm gonna be honest. it wasn't that long ago that we had the 12-year, and I feel like, yes, yeah, 100%. This is way better.
Yeah.
It's like, and the 12-year was already the favorite of the bunch before this. The 18-year, like I said, this is what Scotch could be.
Yup.
And it kind of raises the bar. Right.
See, this is where what I was mentioning before about the strength of having something like a Deanston, or like, one of the first things I did when I got this bottle was I went out and I spent $150 on something called like the Marquis Collection or something. Got a really nice bottle of Scotch because the very first thing I needed to ensure once I had tasted this is that I needed a nice Scotch on hand that I could drink at a much faster pace than this one. I look at this. I've had this bottle for 6 months.
I've had the 12 for maybe two and a half.
We know you have a problem.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, since March.
Yeah.
Since like mid to late March. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Dalmore 18 has taken the cake here. I'm speechless afterwards, which is not a good thing for a podcast, but
I think it's a good thing for a Scotch review podcast.
Yeah.
So
dang.
Knocked it out.
We're not doing
park.
the 12. I want to end on that. Yeah. That was delicious.
Yeah. I think so.
I refuse to drink anything else for the rest of my life.
Now that we've arrived here at this point of the journey, any final thoughts on the...
I'm never having Scotch again until I have the Dalmore 18.
Or better.
Yeah, better.
If such a thing exists, which I'm sure it does.
Dalmore Scotch actually goes up to, guess how high the price point can go.
Oh my gosh,
Dalmore
1,000.
Scotch.
21.
Last I checked, the highest bottle I saw was about $68,000.
For what? How many years? Like 100?
I don't know if that was I know that goes up to 30 that I know of, and then much higher. They have a special collection. There's very few bottles of.
So I just, out of novelty reasons, looked up what the most expensive Scotch is in the world.
Yeah.
Macallan Adami, I feel like I said that weird, 1926, is valued at, sold at auction recently for $2.7 million for one bottle.
Macallan, 1926?
Yes.
Wow.
Spent 60 years aging in sherry casks before being bottled in 1986, and there are only 40 bottles in the world.
Bruh. 60 years in a cask.
Imagine you sip that, then you just would die.
And you'd just be like, I can't ever drink anything else ever again.
This is why I'm making my millions. So I can die like that.
And that being the end of the journey, thank you for joining us here on the Forest Creek podcast when we took this little ride together. I didn't know where we would end up, but I'm glad it was with that, the Dalmore 18, which is mirror this side by side with our reaction to McClelland. If you really
seriously. Oh my God.
If you really want to know what Scotch can be. Yeah.
A philosophical takeaway from the beauty that Scotch can encapsulate is like the monks who say, plant the tree whose shade you'll never sit under, right?
Yeah.
Imagine some Macallan men casked Scotch they would never taste.
Oh my God.
And that's deeper than their flavor profiles.
Wow. How long did you want to make that joke?
Thought of it about 30 seconds ago, and I was trying to interrupt Raph, and it took 2 tries. I got in there.
I'm just glad they didn't write that story on the bottle. Anyway, we are at the Forest Creek on your favorite platforms, youtube.com/@therealforestcreek, theforestcreek@gmail.com if you want to get in touch with us. And we're hoping to add a little question box on our website very soon, theforestcreekweb.com, where we will personally read every one of your questions. At least I'll make Jarrod do it, and then we'll answer your questions here on the podcast. We know Matt won't because he's illiterate. Now,
Islay.
Hey, we hope to share many more nice things with you in the near future, as well as movie reviews, as well as book topics that we've been talking about. We got some special episodes coming up. We're recording one tomorrow. I just have no idea what order these come out in. I recorded one with Chance just a few days ago, and I'm like, I don't even know where on the docket this is, but more stuff, as always, coming real soon. You could check out some stuff we're doing now with at St. George YVR. They're trying to rebuild their church, and you can help be a part of that solution. If you're looking for a solution to your media needs, you can always look it up, like I said, theforestcreekweb.com.
Google it.
We're going to catch you guys next time with some more nice things, with some more cool podcasts. Hopefully this video thing works out and we can stay in the audio-visual dimension instead of just the audio, but we might have a mix of both. Who knows? I'm Raph.
I'm Jarrod.
I'm Matt.
Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.
Peace.
See ya.
I only agreed to this because Jarrod said he would edit.